WOCA.
Ocala.
Monday. What are you doing there? What are you waiting for?
It's a good day. Woo! It's Monday. I like every day.
19 minutes after 7 o'clock. It is May 11th, 2015. It's a beautiful Monday. 66 degrees here at the studios of The Source, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall just outside the WOCA commissary, where you too can get a bite to eat.
Yep, they enjoy dining there.
And thank you for tuning in. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Larry.
How you doing? Huh?
Good.
Happy day after Mother's Day.
Yeah. Good weekend. Full weekend for you and I.
Sounded like you had a good Mother's Day yesterday.
Yep, I did.
saw your postings on Facebook, and it looked like you and your mom had a good time. And
No, we did.
saw a lot of nice things on Facebook from people who were celebrating their mothers. It was really touching, actually.
Yeah, we watched an opera on PBS yesterday
You did?
afternoon.
An opera?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
In English?
It was in French.
Oh, man.
A French opera. It's
Oh, man. What was Ronnie doing?
It had a twist. He was home. He wasn't where my mother and I were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I spent the whole day with my mother.
I might
and
have
then
fallen
he came
asleep
out
if
to
I was
eat.
in that room.
Yeah. Watched an opera, played cards.
Did you understand that? Was it were there subtitles?
Yes, there were.
Oh, okay.
There were
okay.
subtitles.
Okay.
So it was very enjoyable.
Had you heard of it before?
No, never did. Never did.
Would you
Never
recommend
did.
it?
I would.
You-
I would.
yeah,
I mean,
you had
it's
a
like
good time,
they
huh?
had they ran the gamut of characters. Let me tell you, it was very
Is that
entertaining.
a first for you? Watching an opera with
On
subtitles?
TV? Yeah. Yep.
All right, let me tell you what we're doing this morning. 7:35. There was an opinion piece written by one of our state senators regarding the. That's not it. Regarding the Medicaid health care stalemate, I guess is what you call it up in in Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. David Simmons is his name, Republican State Senator David Simmons. He's also the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee. Anyway, he wrote a piece. I wanted to share it with you. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to understand the whole gridlock thing. I mean, it's not Republicans versus Democrats in this case. It's Republicans versus Republicans. Mm-hmm. House versus the Senate. And I'm a little bit confused by it, but I think his opinion piece helps me understand that a little better. And in addition to his piece, I have some other information that is supposed to be, the idiot's guide to understanding what's going on right now.
Oh, I need that.
Well, I need it all the time.
I need that.
I need the what is it? What are those books called? For dummies? Those dummies books?
Yeah,
I need that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there's something else going on in our government where there's a debate, I say, gosh, where do I stand on this? Let me try to understand it, dive into it, and to be honest with you, listening to our listeners, who are also our guests, because they call in on the phone, they're just as much a guest as a guest. Mm-hmm. See, I've never really drawn a line between the two, but anyway, so I learn from everybody.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, so that's where we open up our minds to offer opinion. Mm-hmm. Debatable opinion. I usually like to do it, but it doesn't have to be. So that's what we do at 7:35. 8:35. That's when we turn off the opinion. Mm-hmm. We simply read the news in short form. That's why we call that segment News Bites. Bern Pareso at 9:05. She's our medical reporter, and she'll be telling us about different health providers and what they do here in Marion County and Ocala. Micheline Nader is a successful entrepreneur who has founded, managed, and sold a number of healthcare companies. She might be able to give us some insight into this. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and a bunch of other degrees. She's written a book called The Dolphin's Dance, Discover Your True Self Through a Powerful 5-Step Journey into Conscious Awareness.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I like reading it like a
it sounded
like
really
a movie
good,
trailer
too.
guy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You could do that.
Matt Gibbs, Auto Repair with Personal Care at 10:05. Listen to this story. Self-driving cars are getting dinged in California.
Uh-oh. Body work.
Four out of nearly 50 self-driving cars now rolling around California have gotten into accidents since September,
Wow.
when the state began issuing permits for companies to test them on public roads. 2 accidents happened while the cars were in control. In the other 2, the person who still must be behind the wheel was actually driving.
Oh, gee.
So 4 out of 50, 2 of them human error and 2 of them computer error. Yikes! Well, they gotta fix this. Well, of course,
Well, they
they
can't-
will. I mean, there'll be a day when it'll be fixed, and then there'll be 1 out of 1,000,000 or 1 out of 1,000 or whatever.
And they can't fix it unless they have roads on experience, so.
I guess that's true. They have to try it.
Yeah, exactly.
But can you imagine living in LA, driving next to a car that has no car? By the way, I got something funny to tell Galen. Somebody sent me a note that said Galen's blood report is almost like an LA weather forecast. It never changes.
Oh.
They're always looking for O negative.
Yeah, always,
So
yeah.
it was trying to be silly, but
Yeah, but
it is kind of funny. I mean, to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if in a bigger city the blood report would vary day to day.
yeah.
I mean, this is a small area, so maybe a
Exactly.
bigger city. Now we need more B positive. Now we need more A negative.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but we share between Marion County and Alachua County and Citrus. Everybody,
That's true.
goes
That's true.
for Life South Community Blood Center. So
So that's so 10
Gosh.
10:05 is Matt Gibbs with your car question. 10:35, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is retired from the Army. He has written a book called Valley of the Shadow, a 3rd installment of the Boyd Award-winning novel series on the Civil War. Greg Anton at 11:05. He's a singer and a songwriter. Oh gosh, you sent me his music too, and I forgot to download it. Anyway, he's got a book. He wants to talk about his music. He's got a new song called Stephanie and a new project called The Rock Collection. So looking forward to that visit with Greg Anton. I'll have his song downloaded by then. Fun with Joe. You know what today is? I don't know if you know this or not.
ooh,
Today is National Twilight Zone Day.
wow, cool.
It is
You
National.
unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond
Rod
it is another
Serling.
dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
There you go. So there. Today's National Twilight Zone Day.
Yeah, we saw some cool movies Friday at the Student Media Festival where some of them was sci-fi. So
The
that
older
was pretty cool,
students, the older students like to do that. That was kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, it was such a great event. The Student Media Festival award ceremony at Westport High School Friday night. It was absolutely outstanding. Children were dressed to the T's. And
The kids
looked so
dress
good.
better than we did when we were their age.
Yes, exactly.
But we had cooler cars.
That's right.
Well, we had cooler looking cars. I think internally, and we'll talk about this with Matt a little bit anyway, I think the internal part of a car is way cooler now. I mean, can you imagine back then having the things we have now? But the bodies, the designs of the cars themselves, I think were sharper when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. You could disagree.
I
I'm not a
think so.
car guy, but it just when you walk into the parking lot of the school, you say, well, they all kind of look the same, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They all kind of look the same.
But it was a great night, Friday night. Had a good time. Thank you, Kevin Christian, and everyone that was part of it.
There you go. And you got a photo with a selfie with Kathy Dugan, and one of the people who does radio in this town that you're a fan of.
Yep.
So
you and I
you're
were together with her.
Oh, I know, but but I don't get a chance to listen to her because I come here early, and you actually drive here when she's on the air.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
All right. Well, anyway, our segment with Galen this morning, since we're celebrating Twilight Zone, weird stories from the state of Florida. weird stories from the state of Florida.
Cool.
By the way, you know that was the first. I mean, that was not the first intro to the Twilight Zone
Really?
TV show. No.
Wow. I thought it was.
This was the first one. You ready? Here we go.
Okay.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man.
Oh, I remember
It
it
is a
now.
dimension as vast
Yeah.
as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and
The
superstition.
very first intro was
Yeah.
way longer than the 3 or 4 that followed. Rod Serling would write new intros,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the feeling that the first one is the best one. That one is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really shows his skill as a writer in doing that. And did I tell you what we're doing with Joe? On phone with Joe?
Did you say it was Twilight Zone?
Twilight Zone. Oh, but I didn't
Trivia.
tell you exactly what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
I am going to ask you and Joe to name the actor. I'm going to name the episode, the title of the episode, and you have to name the actor. Now, don't panic because I'm going to give you a big, super good clue.
Oh, okay.
What's amazing about the actors and actresses who appeared on the Twilight Zone is that they're almost all household names. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The lineup of stars that were on that show.
Yeah, it is. It's totally amazing. And speaking of Joe, he did a great job at Girls' Night Out. You put a nice video on the WCA site about him
Yeah, thank you.
in the mall. Yeah.
Thank you. Gosh, there were a few other things. I guess we'll talk about them when we come back. President Carter not doing well.
Oh, no.
Former President Carter.
Oh, no.
We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio. I'm Steve Rappaport. A small northern Texas town in tatters.
Sideways rain, a lot of wind, stuff being thrown here and there, and it's crazy.
Storms and a possible tornado injured more than 24 people and destroyed several homes in Van. A twister also touched down in Delmont, South Dakota yesterday.
Children who were in Sunday school took shelter in the basement. About 20 buildings were damaged, including the town's new fire hall and a Lutheran church, which lost its roof and stained glass windows.
Fox Radio's Pat O'Neill. 4 people charged in connection with the killings of 2 Mississippi police officers during a traffic stop go before a judge today.
Governor Phil Bryant says the entire state of Mississippi is mourning the loss of these 2 officers, adding, quote, "This should remind us all to be thankful to law enforcement for their unwavering service to protect and serve."
Fox's Kelly Wright. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's Fox News, the number 2, go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never try are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Shop at Shannon Roth Collection for your special someone this Mother's Day. We'll guide you to the perfect gift to make you a winner in your lady's eyes. We have hobo handbags, 4 new cutting-edge jewelry lines, 6 new apparel lines, shoes, that on-the-go favorite as well, chocolate. And don't forget, we have free gift wrapping to make your shopping experience a breeze at Shannon Roth Collection. The Shannon Roth Collection located on the historic square in downtown Ocala.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Wow, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Who did this?
P&P Tikis and more, of course. Now, I have a tiki hut for shade, and I can enjoy the sounds of my cascading fountain while feeding my koi fish in my own pond. They even fixed my fence and redid all my landscaping. Nice to see a professional, reliable, family-owned business. Yes, P&P Tikis is the natural Florida tiki builder and water features designer. With free estimates, P&P Tikis is licensed and insured. Call 352-877-3307 for your very own tiki hut and more. That's 352-877-3307. P&P Tikis.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source. WOCA.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
Thank you. 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Beautiful Monday morning. The temperature here at the studios is 66 degrees. The forecast looks pretty good. 94 is today's expected high temperature. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same with lows today and tomorrow night around 70. Wednesday looks the same and Thursday looks the same. So all the way till Friday. Friday is the first day we see rain in the forecast, and the rain that the Carolinas and Virginia got from that storm named Anna apparently pulled it away from us. They got the rain, and all the weather that we might have gotten otherwise was pulled away. So that's why we had a nice weekend. You might have said it was a little. Did it feel a little extra hot to you?
I did yesterday. Yeah, Saturday felt beautiful. Yesterday felt a little extra hot.
Oh, good to me. So tomorrow when Caroline Baldwin is in talking about gardens, I have to tell her, and I know she already knows this because I put a video on my Facebook page, but my sago palm has 7 cones. Mm-hmm. Usually there's 1 cone. The way I understand it is the cone is the flower of the sago palm, right?
Right.
She'll correct me if I'm wrong with that. But it's the male part of the plant. And this plant I have has 7 of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the bees are buzzing around it like it's the best thing ever.
Exactly. They're huge.
God is working. It's amazing. It's amazing how it all works. And I looked it up. I looked up the sago palm thing, and it said that it's very rare, but now and then they have more than 1 cone, and it showed a photograph of a sago in Georgia somewhere with multiple cones. I said, I got a rarity.
Yes, you do.
I got to take a picture of it.
Yeah, you got to send it to gardening magazines.
All right, so before we talk about this article that Senator Simmons wrote, I think it was Simmons, right? Regarding the health care debate up in Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. Senator David Simmons, yes. Let me just do some of these other things that we didn't get to. President Carter cut his trip to Guyana short. He is 90 years old, as you know, former President Carter. The message that he issued to the public simply said he wasn't feeling well. No other details were given about his health. He was expected to return to Atlanta yesterday. He was in South America to observe the upcoming election in Guyana. Carter has traveled around the world as part of his post-presidency work, which includes helping to monitor elections. The vote in Guyana marks the 100th overseas election that Carter Center has observed. So He's 90 years old. Let's hope he stays well.
Yes, I hope so too.
He's one of those presidents that those who didn't like him will say he's a better president after his presidency. A lot of people will say that. I'm just repeating what they say. Yesterday capped off a wild weekend of weather across the nation's midsection, part of the South as well. Tornadoes and storms hit the South Dakota and Iowa areas. Winds ripped off part of a roof in a high school in Lake City. About 100 people were in the school at the time for a special event, but none of them were injured. Flood rescues were underway yesterday just outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Aerial images showed severe flooding and people being hoisted up and then carried to safety by a helicopter. The threat moves east today, including to cities of Cleveland, Houston, Memphis, etc. And of course, then there was that comparatively mild weather storm called Anna in the Carolinas.
Yeah, oh gosh, I'm
And
going to feel for them.
There is a ribbon cutting later this week. I'll tell you real quickly. It's at Loco Graphics. It'll be on Thursday at noon. And Loco Graphics is right here on State Road 200, also known as College Road. They are inviting you to come visit them. They offer signs, vehicle wraps, digital printing. And then also on Thursday, there's another ribbon cutting at 4:30 in the afternoon for Formaggio Pizza, an Italian restaurant. Formaggio.
Yep.
That restaurant is located at 1011 Northeast 14th Street here in Ocala. Formaggio.
In the 14th Street Plaza.
Which used to be the Snappy Tomato location?
No, that's a different restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, that's La Famiglia.
Oh, that's La Famiglia.
Yeah.
And
Snappy Tomato.
where's this one now?
Northeast 14th Street, where the German restaurant
Oh,
is and stuff.
in
that
there.
Plaza, yeah.
The German restaurant's still around, right?
Yeah. I think that's where the train store used to be, I think. But
Oh,
I'm not sure.
okay.
But
Where I
it's
got
right
yelled
there
at.
in that plaza, yeah. I know, we have a history in this town everywhere. There's
Well,
no
I was
place
just
we can
standing
go.
there. I was just standing there, and I was just I put my hand on the little display because you were looking for a gift for somebody, and
My brother, yeah.
and the guy says, "Get your hand off the thing."
Yeah, he wasn't nice.
Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's talk about the. I can't wait to talk about the self-driving cars. By the way, with Matt.
I know. I hope Matt's listening because he's good.
All right, so if you're trying to understand what happened with the Florida House of Representatives and the Florida Senate, and we talked about this before, I tried to understand both sides of this issue. I did not understand why they walked out. I disagreed with the decision to walk out. But at the same time, I really did see what they were saying about their position with the health care and all that. But I never really delved into what the Senate was thinking. Okay, so let me read you what one of the senators wrote. His name is Senator David Simmons. This is not Democrats versus Republicans. This is Republicans versus Republicans. It's the House versus the Senate. So Senator David Simmons, who was also the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee, he's also a Republican. He lives in Altamont Springs, and he wrote a piece that was published in, I think, the Orlando Sentinel or the Sun Sentinel. He writes this. He says, what do the riots in Baltimore have to do with the debate in Florida as to whether the Florida legislature should follow the Senate's lead and extinguish Medicaid and at the same time expand health care to an additional 800,000 Floridians using a free enterprise, free market system that rewards hard work, education, and traditional American values? As it turns out, a lot, he says. The federal-state partnership known as Medicaid, by which the federal government and Florida each contribute billions of dollars to provide health care to 3.7 million recipients, mostly women and children in poverty, is in many ways broken. He asks the question, why? Why is it broken? He answers his question. He says, because it is based upon the fatally flawed premise that once a recipient earns more than a specific income level, the recipient completely loses her Medicaid benefits. Thus, just like welfare and other failed giveaway programs, it destroys a recipient's incentive to improve herself, work harder, and get a better education. A simple look at the enrollees of Florida's non-elderly, non-disabled Medicaid program shows it penalizes success and rewards failure. In fact, traditional Medicaid for the non-elderly and non-disabled is a significant factor in the promotion and perpetuation of a permanent underclass in America. Something we've said for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard pill to swallow. These are my thoughts now. I'm looking away from what I'm reading, because this is what we've said for a long time. It's something that Robert Schuller taught in one of the things that he wrote, or probably said on his TV show when he was alive. He had this story of the egg with the chicken in it, the baby chick. And if you help the baby chick get out of the egg, the baby chick won't live, because the process of the baby chick moving its head inside the still uncracked egg to crack open the egg to get out and start living its life, that very process strengthens the bird's neck muscles, thereby making it able to eat food off of the ground once it comes out of that egg shell, out of that eggshell. And it's a wonderful metaphor. It's a wonderful comparison, analogy, whatever you want to call it, because it is truly the mistake we make. When you love people, you want to make things really easy for them, and you don't realize that sometimes the best love is the tough love. The best love is the love that says, look, you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, if somebody doesn't have 2 feet to stand on, then you have to help them. But how many times have you passed somebody holding a sign on the side of the road who is asking for work, and it's a sunny day, and it's a beautiful day, and he's young, and he's healthy, and there's a store across the street that says help wanted, or because you just spoke to somebody that there are job openings. We speak to people all the time, like from Career Source. They tell us all the time.
The weather is...
And you see where I'm going. We'll be right back.
C.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixing with clouds today. There can be a shower and thunderstorm around, mainly during the afternoon hours. The high 87 at the coast, 92 inland. Partly cloudy tonight, low 67 inland, 72 on the coast. Tomorrow, partly sunny and warm with a chance of a thunderstorm, high 87 to 91. On Wednesday, some sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm likely, the high 87 at the coast, 92 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Another win for NASCAR Super Team. I'm Joe Moore. This is the Monday Morning Race Refresher, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Open a Coke and enjoy the race.
Coca-Cola Racing Family Road Trip. NASCAR Confessionals.
Driver's log, Ryan Newman here. It's 1:27 and we've run out of Coca-Cola. I'm really thirsty. Driver's log, 1:47. Still no Coke. And if I don't make it, tell my fans it was all Tony's fault. Driver's log, 1:59. We pulled over. I love Tony. I love road trips. I love everything.
Coca-Cola, open happiness. Official soft drink of NASCAR.
Martin Truex Jr. led most of Saturday night's NASCAR Sprint Cup race at Kansas Speedway, but in the closing laps, it was strategy that paid off with the victory. Jimmy Johnson crew chief Chad Knaus made the call not to come to pit road when everybody else did, and it resulted in a win.
I could tell he was having a hard time making the decision, and I'm kind of running through the events in my mind. I'm like, we got 2 wins. We're locked in the chase. We're here to win a race. Let's gamble. Let's go for it. And sure enough, it paid off. A few more laps, I think a 4 would have had me. He was awfully strong. We had just enough time to get this slow Chevrolet to victory lane. I was very proud of the team.
Kevin Harvick came in second Saturday night. Jimmy's teammates, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon, were third and fourth. Fifth, pole sitter Joey Logano. Matt Kenseth finished in sixth. Brad Keselowski was seventh. Kurt Busch eighth. Martin Truex Jr. ninth. And Ryan Newman was 10th. Kevin Harvick leads the points by 46 over Martin Truex, Jimmy Johnson, Joey Logano, and Dale Jr. the top 5. The series next moves to the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race this Saturday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's the Monday Morning Race Refresher. I'm Joe Moore on the Motor Racing Network.
WWOCA, WWOCA.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
WOCA.
All right, sorry, I went into I overlapped on the weather before. All right, 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. So if you have been, sort of aware of what's going on up in Tallahassee, but not quite sure, you're not alone. I think there's a lot of us saying, well, what is exactly the deal there? I mean, how come we're not agreeing or finding a way to agree? So there was a story that said a lot of bills died last month when the Florida legislature crashed and burned, but there doesn't seem to be much interest in trying to revive them during the upcoming special session. It is those other issues that really make me wonder why this House of Representatives decided to go home. Dennis Baxley from here in Ocala, who is a state representative, said it doesn't make much sense now to hold any more issues, to add any more issues to the sessions because, well, they got to work on the budget. That's the one thing they're constitutionally obligated to do. The special session of the legislature will begin June 1st. The new budget takes effect July 1st, which means, they got a lot of work to do, and so they won't be able to get all those other things in there that we talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's such a shame, too, because they're hired to do a job, and they're getting paid by the taxpayers to make sure everything's right, and they're not doing it.
So before the break, we went to an article. It's an opinion piece in the Sun Sentinel written by David Simmons. David Simmons is a state senator. He happens to be a Republican, and he's trying to explain what he feels about the Medicaid and health debate that our legislators are involved in. He says that in addition to providing no continuity in coverage and insufficient payments to physicians to induce them to treat Medicaid payment recipients, traditional Medicaid incentivizes all of the wrong traits in its recipients when it doesn't have to do so. To make matters worse, the federal government has a program called the Low Income Pool. You might have seen the acronym LIP used, LIP.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to figure out what they were talking about. But it's the Low Income Pool that further rewards lack of responsibility by giving billions of dollars to Florida to distribute directly to safety net hospitals to help cover their losses because they are required by law to treat all persons who show up in their emergency rooms.
Right, as it should be.
So these LIP funds are equally as tainted as the traditional Medicaid money because they reward continuation of a broken system in which uninsured patients simply show up at the emergency rooms in Florida's hospitals and use them as primary care facilities. So with that conclusion, Mr. Senator Simmons says there has to be a better way than this, and he says there is. He says the Florida Senate has a plan to expand health care to the 800,000 Floridians who make too much to qualify for Medicaid today, but still earn less than 138% of the federal poverty level.
And that's what I thought Obamacare was supposed to do, ensure everybody, no matter what.
These people constitute a large portion of those who show up in the emergency rooms of our hospitals, and if we lend them a helping hand so they can purchase health insurance, they will have a chance for better health outcomes that come with consistent primary care rather than costly emergency room services. And I think the reply to your comment, Robin, is that that's what the House would say. That would be the House's position. The Florida Senate plan seeks to further amend Florida's current waiver from the traditional Medicaid program by using private insurers to provide free market private insurance options. The Senate plan provides a premium assistance to these 800,000 eligible Floridians who are in turn required to have a job by actively seeking a job and be getting an education or be in job training. Other states, such as Indiana, with Republican legislatures, have recently obtained federal waivers and created similar alternatives to the broken traditional Medicaid system. Critics of the Senate plan have erroneously claimed the Senate plan is an expansion of Medicaid. This is what he writes. The Senate plan is actually a path to Medicaid extinction. not Medicaid expansion. While it has taken 50 years of bad government policy to get us into this broken system that penalizes success, the Senate plan will help extinguish a broken Medicaid system and transform these individuals' lives by making them productive members of society. Does it make sense?
It does. A lot of sense.
Of course, you're not reading the bill, you're reading his opinion.
Yeah.
But and I haven't seen the bill, and I would assume that the House of Representatives has. Anyway, he says these critics also illogically demand the federal government keep giving Florida billions of LIP dollars. What did I say that stood for again? Low income.
Low income, I don't know, people. I can't remember now.
See what happens when they use
I know.
See what happens when they use
that. Acronyms.
Acronyms. I can't remember what it stands for. Low income. See, this is the problem. When I have a low income pool, it's the low income pool. The low income pool dollars. People in the low income pool. I'm in the low income pool.
Yeah. Education.
Anyway,
and
keep
better
giving
yourself.
billions of LIP dollars, but refuse to take the money that, with the Senate's free market, free enterprise system, will help end the cycle of dependency on welfare and traditional Medicaid. Simply asking for a block grant of the federal Medicaid money is a step in the right direction, but once Florida gets the money, we still must have a plan to remove these people from government assistance and help make them become full participants in the American dream. Sometimes just saying no is not a solution. Our governor and the Florida legislature owe Floridians a plan to get us out of a broken Medicaid system. If we simply do nothing, we'll balloon to 4 million people by 2018. That's the whole opinion piece. I never once in that whole article got why he was comparing it to the riots in Baltimore. I didn't quite get that. But that aside, I do agree with the spirit of what he's trying to say. I do agree with that. It's not easy because basically what you're trying to say is that if you are able, then you need to be willing. If you're able to work, you need to be willing to work.
Exactly.
If you're not able to work, then we need to be willing to help you as a society.
Exactly.
But if you're able to work, you need to be willing. That's what has to be said. That's what he is trying to say.
Yeah.
And the way you make somebody willing to work who's not willing to work right now, who is able to work, is by taking away the incentive to not work. The incentive to not work is, he's making a good point, that there's an incentive to not work.
Exactly.
If there's a hand-me-down from daddy government.
Exactly.
Okay. There is a problem with this, and I guess there's a solution to the problem. But the problem is that there will be people who will say, I am not able, but I am willing. And in truth, they are able.
Yes.
It's those who are not able and are willing. I know people who are truly not able. Truly not able, but they are very willing to work.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't address the point of the people that don't have the insurance. They are working, they have a job, they don't have insurance, they use the emergency room, but then they set up a payment plan with the hospital and they do come forward and pay off their bills. So it's not everybody that doesn't have insurance that doesn't pay.
That's true.
So there are people that don't have insurance, but they will set up a payment plan with the hospital and they'll, do it and follow it through. So there are people too that do that. So everybody, it's conscience. It's if people want to be users or not users.
So anyway, I wanted to try to understand the Senate's position on that, and I think that helped me to understand it. Let's see. There was another piece I wanted to share with you. There was an article written. This is clearly slanted, but these are the 9 easy things to understand. 9 easy points to understanding Florida's Medicaid debate. Number 1, more than $50 billion is at stake. The Florida share of the money the feds want to give the states to expand health care is part of the Affordable Care Act. That's right. It's Obamacare. So that's the part that kind of answers your question about that. Number 2, without the money, 800,000 Floridians will not get health insurance, mostly the working poor, since the Florida plan has an emphasis on recipients actually working. I think that was the point that Senator Simmons was trying to make, with the caveat, is that a good word?
Yes.
That after the 2-year period, because it's only for 2 years, right? Am I understanding that right? After the 2-year period, during the 2-year period, things are done, things are put into place so that those people get off of that system, as he says, and it becomes extinct.
Exactly. And it should be.
3, most states in America have accepted the money, including several with Republican leaders. Florida has not, citing complaints about Medicaid and concerns that include federal funding dropping from 100 to 90% in future years. Well, yes.
Yeah, the federal government will do that.
Pretty viable complaint. I mean, you don't want to be depending on something that's not going to last. Mm-hmm. You want to be self-sufficient. I mean, that's true in all walks of life, right? It says Florida Democrats want the money, so do Republicans in the Senate, as you just heard. But House Republicans do not. Governor Rick Scott used to support the expansion, but recently changed his mind. And of course, the 10% or whatever it is that you'd have to pay is not mentioned in this. Mm-hmm. So it's clearly slanted. Florida's hospitals, this is number 5, Florida's hospitals and many in the business community have urged legislators to accept the Medicaid money to provide health insurance. They point to the massive number of jobs that will be created. Number 6, conservative political and issue groups, including the Koch brothers-funded Americans for Prosperity, are using legislators to turn this money down. What's more, it says they are attacking Republicans who defy them.
Okay. There you go. There's another.
Anyway, so our state legislators are trying to work this out. They're going back June 1st, and we'll take a break and be right back. I don't know that I understand it any better now. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studio.